Ladies and
That's gonna be
gentlemen,
fun.
we are back from the commercial break. We are here with Devon. We're just going to call you DC.
Yeah,
Colebank, guys.
perfect.
So I'm going to try to name some of the hats. So social media guru, content creator, event thrower. You just fucking get it. You're in the industry.
Yeah.
Art is the main focal point here, but just a dude that understands where the world is shifting, what is happening, and a Pittsburgher through and through. And right before we ended the commercial break, he just said, "Eat shit, Pitt." So we'll dive into that one. But Devin,
Do
man,
we
thank
want
you.
to?
Yeah.
I feel like the chat's gonna roast me. I mean, I'm
No,
gonna get
you're good. You're good. They hate
No,
Greg.
no,
They hate
no.
Greg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they hate me. Don't worry about it. I'm an obnoxious Pitt fan, so don't
I'm
worry
glad
about
you
it.
guys. I'm a football guy myself.
Good.
Like born and raised, like playing football backyard. But my dad went to West Virginia, and my grandfather went to West Virginia, so that's why I'm a fan.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
to the games ever since I was like out of the womb. My dad wrestled for West Virginia, so
Oh no shit.
yeah. So always been born and raised. But I'm glad you guys are getting your glory now. It's not gonna
It
last.
took a while.
So
It took a while. It took a while. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, man.
So let's jump into first just a little intro, man. Why don't you go ahead, plug your ads, plug your channels, plug your events real quick, and then we'll dive into some questions with you and just chat here for about a half hour. But guys, this is we like to bring on creative people. We like to influence a lot of stuff that isn't just sports related. Obviously, we'll get into sports stuff. So Chad, if you got questions, let them know. But go ahead, bro, and just introduce yourself a little bit here for us.
Have free range, man.
Hell yeah. DC started off photography. Worked in videography, graphic design. Nowadays, besides being a multi-tool, I just call myself like a multimedia artist, branding strategist, social media guru. Own 3 businesses in Pittsburgh, 3.5 actually. So my business, which is this under DC, which is more like freelance, Social Satisfaction, which is my social media agency, Endangered Youth, which is my fashion line, and then Vandals, which is a clothing line that we do Taylor Gangs merch and stuff. So we hook Wiz up and like do all of his merch and tour stuff. But I've been doing events lately, a lot of bigger ones. This past fall, I kind of like take over October because I'm like a October baby, but had my colors gallery, went tremendous, sold out of the booklets and everything. It's really an event where I got to bring together the whole community, I feel like, in the creative niche of like photography. But coming off of that, did House of Balloons, which is like more of a brandable party or like a brand experience, you could say. So when it comes to events, I just like going all out and like using everything I know in my arsenal, like just branding and like making things exciting. I feel like my biggest goal in the city is shifting the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I travel a lot for work and I get to experience the nightlife a little different than other people. So trying to bring bits and pieces back and let my artistry show in the city. So one day, just like I make a lot of allusions to Batman, but one day we could just show the DC logo in the air, just like the Batman. So like you just know where the event's gonna be. It takes a lot for me to like get on these type of like podcasts and stuff because I'm an introvert myself. I feel like my social media can kind of like give that little bit of display of that. Very black and white, minimalist guy, simple, but with a lot of ideas and just like want to bless the city with them.
You got a lot of so just go to your feed. So by day, I run a social media department and agency down here in Nashville. So I said, I moved down to Nashville this summer. By trait, you have the one thing that I find most impressive when we talk to whether it's influencers or brand owners or people that understand the realm, which is a continuous feel. So from obviously just the short minute talking to you before the show, your feed, your events, there's a continuous thread of where, who's running it. So it's not always the same event, but it's run by DC. And that's something that I have an utmost respect for, because to be able to wear all these different hats, have these events, have these companies, but have them have the same sort of feel and manufacture in terms of where they're coming from. Is that something that just organically happened for you, or is that really something that you've spent a lot of time developing?
Yeah, not to get too much into it, but it definitely is a main theme of mine. So I always want my work to be the highlight of me. I feel like I'm a die by it. It's going to live longer than I am, so I at least hope so. But I didn't start showing my face on social media until 2019. But before then, I was still working with bigger brands and had a decent following. But by then, I think I had like 6.5K, which is like fairly big in the city, I guess. But by then I didn't show my face at all. So one day I just showed my face in black and white because I like black and white. And I always am the ever so elusive one. I'm very subliminal. I think that might be what you're talking about. I just like my personality, a very private person, introvert. but I think I take a lot of, I think I'm a student of people that, I think I'm a student of Drake and how he does his rollouts. It's very militant. It's very subliminal. It's very concrete in itself. Like you could see a signature of it. It's like, just like you could see it, like my black and white filter. And I hope people would, show some relation to it. But to be honest, and not to segue into like the mental health thing, but some people are like, oh yeah, it looks so easy. Like your page looks dope, the continuous. But you ask any of my friends, it's like the first thing I ask them if I'm really close to them, because I don't have like a lot, but I'm like, yo, how does the feed look? Does it look like this? Should I switch it up? Like, you guys know me. But I think it's playing it well. So that means the world to me that like people are catching on to it. And like, it means a lot to me that like that subliminalist theme is getting portrayed a little bit, that I'm more so of an artist, playing and getting to do whatever I want with it. But yeah, so like, I feel like the black and white is just the signature now. I wanted to make the theme whatever, but I feel like now I have to roll with it.
No, I love that, man. Greg's geeking out because he has tattoos of Spider-Man and shit on his body, and he's the biggest comic book nerd. So the fact that you said DC in the air above one of the events, that's why he's geeking out so hard. Just so you know,
I have Spider-Man and the Dragon Sword tattooed on my thighs. So yeah, it's out there. Yes, for the world to see.
I mean, I have the Batman logo right here, so I get it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Devon, I was curious because before we actually went live, you were kind of talking about your career beginnings and all that, when you said that you were essentially using your camera to be able to get into shows at Stage AE or the Rex and all that. I was curious to talk about that, but I was also curious, where did that love for wanting to do photography and all that kind of come from for you? Do you have any idea where it all began, essentially?
Yeah, I think I was always the outcast growing up. I was always the guy that was like, small town but popular, but always saw bigger. I was a jock my whole life, but I knew I was creative. I was never, I could never draw anything, I could never mold anything, but I knew I was creative. I could put, I know what the ending picture could be for something. That makes sense. But in high school, just got a camera for my mom or something. I think it was Christmas. I think it was like 2015, 16. And that probably shows my age. I'm still like super young, by the way. I don't know how old you guys are.
I'm 29, he's 30. So
I don't think about it that much, but
did you have a MySpace or an Xanga? Nah, all right. No. Fuck.
Oh, damn it. We're old.
So yeah, it was just, I picked it up and it was just my way. I felt at peace as soon as I picked it up because I could be whatever I wanted to as soon as I picked it up. And, I could focus on my sports, or I could focus on cooking. I love cooking. And I could focus on just taking pictures of pretty fucking flowers, or I don't know. It was like my channel of being the jack of all trades I've always been. Mm-hmm. But I think methodically it happened in a way that it was just like picture perfect, you could say. But this being introverted and like starting onto photography when it wasn't cool. I was in high school getting made fun of and being called a faggot for like using photography, like when the word, it doesn't even make sense now, but like I was getting called these things. Like it's now you see a photographer and you're like, that guy's fucking cool. Yeah. Back in the day, we would make fun of it for taking pictures. Like, who does he think he is? Like, what is he doing? But evolving in today, I just, through high school, I like kept on coming back to the city with that camera. And this is like when a bunch of shows were like really going on in the city. We don't really have a lot of concerts, but we did have like a high rise there. But I would use it to sneak in back shows. And I was like 15, 16, and, drinking sometimes with these people, shooting, just like I was like part of the band, like some of these rappers. And I just felt high in the world. And I think that sense of, I feel like you guys have this in your soul a little bit. Like you could probably remember the first time you saw the skyline. Yeah. Or like it really like hit you. Like it was immense. Like, hey, Pittsburgh to me now feels like the town. Yes. But like the city, I remember that feeling of just like coming out of the tunnels, and it just felt special. And I remember having like the camera to the right of me in the car. I'm like, there's a lot more I could do with this, And I think that lifted the mental health a little bit. But for a while there, the birth of this career was started from, I wish I had more mental health awareness,
It's tough, and it's good you're open about it, man. And it's like it's something that I think that I tell our guys all the time that I think on a good day, a good month, a good year, whatever it is, we produce 2% of the content that I would like to produce. And sometimes you really forget to sit back and appreciate how hard that 2% is to do. And for somebody like you to wear all these hats and to be able to maintain it, and there's something about the thing you have where you are the man behind the curtain in certain ways, and you are Batman, because the people coming to you and saying, dude, that looks easy, that in itself is a skill to make what you're doing look so easy. So really, you have all these entities, you have your own brand that you're pushing and things of that nature. Put yourself 20 years down the road. Do you have an end vision, an end goal, or are you really just kind of creating and seeing where life takes you?
I think I have glimpses of it now where I'm definitely in like the rock star phase of my career. Every day feels like a dream, like I wake up and it's still depressing and everything, but I'm seeing glimpses of a elevated lifestyle, something that's a little bit more richer in life. And like, with that being said, I think I'm going to be the biggest creative director, biggest creative in the city. If not, I mean, it's hard to, because art is subjective, but I think that's one of the bigger goals. I'm a competitor myself, and I don't know how you compete art, but sometimes numbers don't lie. But I think the end goal with everything is just being able to be free and completely me without holding back, because even right now I hold back, and it's hitting. It's, I'm shooting the dart with my eyes closed and I'm still around that bullseye, So I wish I could just be authentically me and, not holding back. Down the future too, I think I want to make, referencing the elevated lifestyle, I want photographers to be the next rappers. I want creatives to be the next rappers, or the ball players. Ball players and rappers are oftentimes like, going like this, or like ball players want to be rappers want to be ball players, just because of that lifestyle. But I think us creatives, we're the next big thing. We're walking around with chains, we're walking around with the nice vehicles, just because we're putting in the same work and we're living a lifestyle, which is us. We're getting paid for being us, just like those people do. But I think that's what I definitely want to evolve into, is like being able to like just let my nuts drag in the city, and like, people respect it.
Hell yeah, man. I love that. So let's dive into this portion of it. You say you're an athlete. What did you play growing up? Do you still play something? What was your sport of choice? What's your sport to watch? Like how much is tied into it? Because I think the thing that you mentioned there is, how do you compete in art when it is a subjective factor? But I also know that I wake up every day thinking there's not, excuse the French, there's not a motherfucker on this planet that's going to do me better than me. And that's something that I've had for the past couple years. That was great French,
by the way.
Thank you. Je ne sais quoi, But no, there's not a motherfucker on this planet that's going to do me better than me. And if I can make me work, there's nothing that's going to come near it, man. So talk about how athletics help that, because it has to be there.
Yeah, I think it's a tie of everything. Growing up, played all sports. Mainly in high school was football, basketball. Yeah. I've always been a stocky, bigger guy, so I was like the power forward or a center. But football was the main shit where I like highlighted. I was running back, linebacker, had officer in there, but that competitive nature and always being a great athlete, I kind of transitioned that. Not a lot of people know this. I don't know if you guys know this, but I was actually in the military. I'm still in the military, so I think that that discipline and like that integrity of it all, just being able to read people. Sometimes the competitive nature. Sometimes there's not a scoreboard for who's winning, but I think it's a movement thing. I like to think a lot of translating who's winning is through politics, if that makes sense. So, you might have a president that won, but who's really winning in the government? That makes sense. A little elusive, a little bit metaphorical there, but you could just tell, numbers are a good part of it. But when it comes to competitive nature, I played football, I think, before it transitioned to this girly shit we have now. I played in the dirt, and I was the guy in the center, and people just fucking target people, Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are football guys, but I feel like I was raised in a time where you'd lead with your head, maybe it wasn't the best coaching, but, that blood instinct, or just wanting to use your all to complete something. Not a lot of people have that anymore, and I'm thankful like sports gave me that.
So I am kind of curious real quick because you brought up the fact that you currently are in the military still. I'm assuming as a reserve. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I vaguely recall it. I mean, you did bring up previously about your influence was kind of like with Drake with the militant style and all that.
Yeah.
Did being in the military and still being in the military, did it kind of give you a sort of perspective that you apply now to what you do with your creative efforts or anything like that? Or is there some sort of connection that you have with that?
Yeah, I think there's two parts to it. So moving militantly, when I say that, it's more having your guards up and watching your steps, that it's, it's chess, not checkers. But the things that I think translated into my career from the military is probably the big word I'll always vocabularize is integrity. That's a big word that we always use, is just holding yourself to a standard and not falling short of that. The discipline, the routine, to make stuff happen, you have to fucking do it. And a lot of people just don't have maybe a routine to even fucking do it. A lot of people just don't want to hold themselves to standards. And I think military definitely showed me that. I think hard and even doing these things in harsh conditions, whether it be like overseas or on our own domestic land, is it just says something about somebody. And not a lot of people have that. And sometimes I might get frustrated. Maybe this is the soldier in me, like seeing people have so much potential and just like not having that little bit of more grit to them, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your channel strategy, things of that nature. Nothing too in the weeds here, but just out of personal curiosity. I mean, I know you're big on Instagram. I followed you on TikTok. You're on all these platforms, and so I just really and talk to your comfort level on this. Don't feel pressed or pride, but you have entities, you have platforms, you have brands, you have events, and then you have the balls to bring up the topic of mental health. I find as
which
creators,
is not something most people can do, for the record.
No,
I give you credit for that.
But I find as creators, we sit here and we feel forced to get to certain sectors, and we feel forced to be on platforms. And there's a certain level where it stops being fun, and it does start becoming a task, and it starts becoming a little bit more than just, I'm going to make a TikTok video. And it's like, no, I have an expectation of myself, my brand, my fans have expectations. What do you do to combat it? Is it, you said that you do take time off and you have hot periods in your life where that's where you go. Is it stepping away for a couple months? Is it something you do? How do you combat it? Because there's so much going on in your life, but you still have the ability to comprehend and tackle it.
It's a difficult question, difficult answer. I feel like as somebody that struggled with it, like I told you guys early on, like I got into photography when it wasn't cool, and like even situations before that, my mental health's never been 1,000%. Hence the name Endangered Youth, not to like self-plug, but no, it's like society killed the teenager. We have so many expectations now that we grew up way too fast, and I know I grew up way too fast, and I think this level of expectations that I'm reaching for and doing things probably doesn't help that. So the mental health thing as a whole, I don't have an answer of what I do, because I'm still dealing with myself. I'm not moving past my mental health. Like, I'll be completely transparent about this because I'm just a blunt person. And I think about killing myself like at least once a month. And I know that's not healthy, but I know that's something I need to move past. Everybody, the people I do talk to about it know that's a constant thought in my life. And they're like, oh, you have all these things going on. You look so happy. But we all know that's the opacity with the curtain. You can't see all the way through. Yep. You know what's behind it, but you don't know what's actually going on. I think it's something I'm definitely still dealing with. I think the way my channels work, and I think I know it is a thing I need to touch on. I think in my life, I'm really like, I think tonight as itself, like us talking about it, it like puts me in a place where I know I have the platform and the skills to like make it a more bring awareness, As far as dealing with it, though, I think I just take everything on project based, and I work in seasons. But I think any good athlete doesn't train all year round. Like I said, I like to run, the fall and then the spring with like the Halloween, Valentine's Day events. But I like taking off the winter, going in the back cave per se, and kind of just staying in that routine. I'm not on the lazy boy or watching Netflix or anything, but it's not work. We know we're in therapy right now. We're in physical therapy right now, if that's a good metaphor. But as far as like actually dealing with it, don't really go to therapy or anything. I think just creating itself and doing some things kind of distracts me from it, but I don't know if that's even dealing with it. Sometimes it is distracting from like the actual like issue itself. But I know people give me the advice to like actually take a break and actually go somewhere. But in my field, here's a good example. I have a Europe trip coming up the 27th through the 7th, and it's vacation. I've worked hard to make that a vacation, but now in the back of my head, I'm like, do I monetize off this? Am I making money? Should I make money off this? And that's fucked, like I'm in this cycle of life and death. Like this ego state is like, oh, okay, let's keep on going. I mean, it's a reason to go harder and let's make like content off it, but I don't think I've dealt with it fully yet. And I don't think I ever will, because I think I have a personality that is just like this drive and get it done. I know it's not healthy, but I think I'm balancing it the best way I can, I hope that answers the question.
No, absolutely, man. Like I said, I don't want to poke and pride. Be as comfortable as you can now. I definitely feel that. I'll take trips and I'm like, I didn't shoot the vlog this week. Why am I not? So XYZ. So no, that answered the question 100%, brother. So I love it. And go ahead, Greg.
No, and bouncing off of that real quick. I mean, I give you a ton of credit for being creative in your way, because it's essentially, it is a form of therapy. I mean, I'll be honest, like I still go to therapy and stuff, but I find that as kind of like my outlet to be able to make sure that I'm mentally aware, and I'm checking myself to make sure that everything's going on pretty well. So just because, never be ashamed about that. That's more of kind of like this idea of like everyone finds some sort of calmness and therapy based on different avenues. It's just where you get it from. And that's why mental health is so important in this aspect. So I respect you for the way that you do that.
Oh, thank you.
So let's get into real quick, last thing I want to jump on here, man, are your events themselves. So Colors looked absolutely beautiful and insane. House of Balloons, like I mentioned to you, I've had people be like, yo, use that as what we're going to do for XYZ. And I think that's dope. And they, so could you just give us like a thesis statement of what the two of those really were to you?
I would call them more so, if event had a more specified word, I think it would be brand experience. Okay. When I think brand experiences, and some I've been to, and like, Art Basel was this past weekend, but I wasn't at this one. But early on in my career, I went to Art Basel, and it was labeled a brand experience before there were brand experiences. With that being said, the amount of detail, the militancy of how stuff's rolled out is a lot different. From top to bottom, it's an experience. Experience. When we think of experience, it's not just cheersing 2 courts with the buddies. It's like knowing what that cold can feels like in your hand. Knowing what you're wearing that night, knowing the things you're talking about, and with that being said, it's like I think it's just creating memories and doing the most you can so people have it drilled in their head what this is, or the idea of it, whether it come in branding and how they do the rollout. But I would definitely call these events like more so brand experiences. Like at the event itself, it wasn't just about the artwork; it was about colors. So all of the drinks were color coordinated. I had a red one, orange one, Roy G. Biv. But I think it's all about that. Anything that you can take a picture of and it looks cool, Same thing with House of Balloons, custom cocktails. But I think one thing that might separate my events from most is I always have a central theme and a photo opportunity that is a detachment of that. Yes. So Colors, I had the ball pit.
Which
in
was
the
sick.
pit of COVID.
The B moon ball pit picture was sick though, but COVID.
Thank you. Yeah.
See, you're talking about being younger than us though, but I feel like you've never been in a real ball pit until you went to like Chuck E. Cheese or something. Like, let's be real.
So it's funny you say that, because I was watching. I'm a big VHS guys. I've been getting like archives lately of mine, and I saw me in one, and then I saw a kid's shirt. I'm watching this one, and like it's like 2006, and I'm in this ball pit, and I'm seeing this kid's shorts like next to me and this shirt next to me in this footage. I'm like, that shit's nasty as fuck. What is Yeah.
You don't realize it until after the fact. Those ball pits were not sanitary.
They had
in any
like
way,
snakes in them. There was always stories coming out with like cobras in the base and like a kid shit in the ball pit. And it's like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
what do we do now? So
It's getting spread. It started in this corner and I was there. I mean, it's like.
No, the event sounds super fire, and curated is a word that I love, and it's the definition of every aspect of it. So yeah, no, keep going, and they unbelievable, man.
Yeah, curation is definitely a word I like to use too. Is like, I think the difference between creating and curating is, I know what a chair looks like. I can draw a chair and create that, but can I curate a chair, which is like my mythology behind it, my what I think a nice chair is.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to curating an event, I know what I would want to come to, and I think a saying I always look forward to is like, I want people to feel good about coming to the event. Like, oh, I'm dressing up for this. I can't wait to look forward to this. You know, I think look forward is a great word, but I just want people to feel a little bit like it's a prominent thing in the city. They feel important about themselves. They feel good about going out to this. It's like they're not treating another night in Southside where they know they're going to be, you know, the same bars all the time. I want them to feel special about it. I think that's where me doing these consistently might shift that culture a little bit. So we're more than just a drinking town, you know? I'm loving them. Like coming up Valentine's Day, have the singles only event, doing a rollout with Laura. We brought Laura up before.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely have some more custom cocktails there and like curating a space where it's like, I'm very anti Valentine's Day. So that's like the theme. So it's like singles only, but,
it's made by the card company.
Yeah,
or
he's on a soapbox. Hallmark and credit card companies made the holidays. So
I need to show you guys. I need to send you a teddy bear. I made this for my endangered youth line. The first time I did was,
no way.
It says "fuck you" instead of like "love you" on the teddy bear.
Yes,
I wish I could like show you guys.
That's hard.
There's the signature white tee that like sold out. Like so many porn stars bought it too. It says, "I don't want to be loved," and then "loved" is crossed out, and orgasm is below it. It was like, "I want to be." Yeah, you guys need to see it. You guys would love it. But it was very anti-Valentine's Day. That the mythology behind the anti-Valentine's Day is like people are obviously going to laugh and get attention to that. Yeah. But now endangered youth, segueing into the next event of Valentine's Day, it's more of a high fashion runway. You know, it's kind of like it was a diss on purpose. You know, I was trying to get your attention now. Now here's what we're really doing. It's actual fashion. It's not like fast fashion where it's just t-shirts, clothes. These are like handcrafted sweaters, hand stitched, hand distressed, one-of-one pieces. But yeah, I love the thought of anti-Valentine's Day because it's like I feel like I have more freedom with it, you know.
I like the thought of for some reason, and I can't get it on my head now. I don't know the name of it, that you're just the fucking anti-Cupid, like just the absolute opposite of Cupid, man. And it's
damn it. Now I'm thinking of Fairly Odd Parents. Shit.
Yeah, you always fucking think of Fairly Odd Parents, though, Greg. That's not a fair assumption there. So yeah, Devon, we've had you on for a half hour now, brother. Please, plug your next events, your ats, anything else you want to chat about. The floor is yours right now, brother. Please plug all your stuff. Where can everyone find you, and where can people find your Valentine's Day event if you can give any more information on it?
Yeah. I haven't started promoting it yet, but you'll see, like, the ever elusive one. You'll start seeing it. I'll make sure you guys see it.
In the sky. Yeah.
God damn it! If you get a spotlight in the skyline of Pittsburgh, that's how I know that you've made it at that point. Shit.
I think give me 5 years. I think I can have it.
I like it. That's solid.
But at Devon Colebank on everything, at DEVON COLEBANK. That's the first time I ever do that, but that was kind of smooth. But,
it was icy, is what
that was.
But it's the same thing across all the channels. Instagram is my main joint. I'm trying to build that up pretty high so I could cross promote on the other channels. You guys will see shortly the rollouts for the Endangered Youth event and the Singles Only event. Besides that, just stay up to date with me. I feel like I deliver dope content and I give a little bit more of a lens of Pittsburgh that people don't see, being a younger individual like I am. I like to show off a little bit of nightlife in a different way. I feel like I just deliver my form and my view of the city that not a lot of people have. Definitely a darker individual. So if you guys are into I don't know, little peep and stuff, that's more my vibe. If you guys know, I mean, you guys are grandpas now, so I don't know.
Wow.
That's it. I'm not coming to your little party now. Fuck you, man. I ain't coming.
Hey, real shit. Thank you guys so much.
No, bro, thank you. Guys.
Yeah. Everybody enjoy the rest of the show. Good night.
Yeah. No, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the donation to November, brother. I appreciate the absolute fuck out of you. Guys,
yes, thank you so much for that. Yes.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to get Greg's itch for Pitt football.